Hello, welcome to Footy Corner TV. This is We're the North Bank, and glad to have you here. If you are here, please make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe and sharing the live. Any comments in the comment section, and we'll try and get to them as we get to them. We've got quite a bit of content to cover because we've got a few games that have kind of happened, a few eventualities with injuries or the reverse of. And a certain contract situation that we've got to discuss as well. We're joined by Dom from Arsenal Domination. How are we, sir?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. It's been a good few days for Arsenal overall, I think. So in optimistic mood as always.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of needed the Wigan game, didn't we, to more or less recover from the Brentford game, I guess. Although, if you're looking on the high side of things, wasn't necessarily a bad result, but like we would always want a win in that situation. Bit of a shame that didn't happen, but what did you make of the lineup in the Brentford game? Just a reminder, because obviously it's a while ago now. There was no Saliba. So we had Raya, Timber, Mascara, Gabriel Hincapié, Rice, Subimendi, Eze, so no Odegaard, Leo, Gyökeres, and Noni, so we didn't have any Saka starting. So what did you make of that for starters?
It was a strong lineup for Arsenal, and then look, you need to go strong against Brentford. Going into the game, Brentford were the second form team in the Premier League over 10 games, and we were the form team over 10 games. So we know they're going to make it hard at home. We know they're a good side, so you had to go strong. And from that point of view, he definitely did exactly what you would have wanted him to do. Obviously the likes of some of those key players missing, like Saliba, like Odegaard, who might not have always been on the best of form lately, but we know is still a very capable player from an Arsenal perspective. When these guys are missing, that's obviously not helpful, but it was a strong lineup. But I think what we really missed in that lineup was Moreno or Havertz, because when you're playing Brentford, they're a very, very physical side. They're going to make life difficult from that perspective. And I just felt that physical presence in the 10 was what was lacking. And you could sort of see Eze struggle about that. That said, I thought Odegaard did quite well until the goal, at which point he obviously got that sort of knee injury shortly afterwards. And then he was pretty much anonymous. And he's obviously not that physical type of player. But I think that was partly a tweak to the system from the way we played from Mikel Arteta at halftime, sort of got him into the pockets of space that Eze wasn't finding. So, overall though, it's obviously a disappointing result because you want to put the pressure on. But it's not like if we went to Wolves this week and drew. I didn't quite have that sort of sense of despair that I might have if we drawn to Wolves and gone 4 points clear. We drew to a decent side, who have got a lot of good points at home this season. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was my reflections anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar, but I mean, I was a bit disappointed with Odegaard, but obviously he took a knock when he kind of struggled with the goal. So he did change the game when he came on.
Yes.
Saka didn't really do anything for me, to be honest.
No, he looked rusty, didn't he?
He did look very rusty. So yeah, it wasn't ideal, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's Brentford a good side, and we could have come away from that with nothing. So at the end of the day, do we call that a point gained or do we call it 2 points lost? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you.
I'll let you know in May.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, the thing is, obviously, we need to go to Wolves. We need to get the points in the bag. If we don't get the job done at Wolves, if we don't come away with 3 points, then obviously it's 2 points dropped anyway.
Yes, definitely.
If we get the 3 points and the 3 points against Spurs, and then we got Chelsea after that.
Yes, we have. Yes. It's Chelsea on the 1st of March, I think, and then Brighton away.
Yeah. So if we then come out of that with all 9 points, then it'll be a point gained, wouldn't it? I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
That kind of situation. But yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one because obviously we didn't really turn up. It was like we were waiting for something to happen, and it just never happened. Nobody really had a good game apart from, I guess, Rice probably was our best player.
Yes, I think so. Trossard was probably our best attacker.
Yeah, but even he was in like
Yeah,
fits and starts, and it wasn't.
it was more a case of no one else was better. No one was good.
Yeah,
He was the least worst.
he's at least worse. Yeah, there was nobody outstanding, but he was probably the average, and everybody else were below average, more or less.
Yes, I think that would be a fair reflection.
But yeah, I mean, it was disappointing. I got a bit annoyed with Trossard on a few instances because he's trying to do what I consider to be too much. And if you're going to be doing that, I kind of want the Eze player to be doing that. Do you know what I mean? To be
Yes,
doing
in that sort of 10 role, take the risks. In that, yeah, that's the area of the pitch to take the risk if you're going. If you're
yeah,
going to have
I think so as well. And obviously, you can be more cutting and whatever from the wing, but you know, try and beat the man, and then if you can't beat the man, either put something across or lay it back or let somebody else could try and recycle it. But it did look to me a bit like Eze was hiding a little bit. It was almost like he was struggling, and
it almost felt like it was a relief to him as much as anyone else when he was subbed at halftime, right? Because he
yeah,
was, as you say, he was absolutely struggling, and I felt still on, sort of on the Wigan game, but I won't go too much into it. I felt there were times in the Wigan game where you could sort of see he was still a little bit impacted by it in terms of his confidence in shooting, not necessarily his passing, but his shooting still lacked a bit of confidence.
I don't know about you, but with you saying that, just before I forget, sorry to interrupt, but
no, of course.
The when they had that the shot on target, I think it was late in the first half or very early in the second half, and they basically came as and the ball came to him, and he almost tries to do something with it, no matter what it is, rather than just like cushion it and whatever. And he almost tried to cushion it, and it just like flipped in the air, and it was like, why did you do that? All you have to do is either put your foot on the ball, or play a pass forwards, or play a pass sideways if you want to, but don't
do that.
Just put your foot there. The ball's going to bounce. It's a bouncy ball. This is what balls do. And all right, I can sit here. I'm not a professional footballer, but I do know what physics are. You know what I mean? I know what inertia does.
It was a difficult day for him. It really was.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I'm not going to go too much into Wigan game, but I felt Wigan was important for him because of how difficult that first game, that Brentford game was for him. Because he is a confidence player. And I think, although it was Wigan, that will have massively, helped him refine some of that confidence.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see at what point he was taken off in the Wigan game.
I can't actually remember when he was taken off,
or if he was at all.
Madueke, I remember going off. I don't remember him going off.
No, I don't think he did go off.
I was going to say that could be me misremembering. Madueke went off. Saka.
Oh
went
no,
off.
he could. No, he couldn't go off, could he? Because obviously Saka was in the 10 with Eze.
Yeah.
And obviously Saka was taken off. Yeah. I wasn't. What did you make of? I know we've jumped games, but we've gone there now. But Saka in the 10. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, you've got to do anything with the Wigan game, and caveated with you're playing Wigan at home, and both sides after 30 minutes went, should we just call it 4-0 and see it out? But he's also rusty. But I think what was really interesting, and I didn't just notice this with Saka, I also noticed when Jesus sort of went into the 10, if you like, there was a lot of good interchange with Madueke on the right, where they switched positions quite a lot during the game. And I noticed it more with Jesus because, as you know, it was right in front of where I was, whereas at the other end it was harder to tell. But um, the interchange I thought was really important, and I think just where he sort of seems to have dropped a little bit of pace, maybe following that injury, inside that was less of an impact for him, and he is closer to goal. So I think it's something that you can worth having a look at. But I'm not sure it's going to. It may well be end up being his long term position in sort of 3, 4, 5 years time. But I think
Mm.
out on the right is still where he is most effective. I think it is where he has the biggest impact of the game, particularly cutting in. And I think, with the news today that Odegaard, Havertz could both be back for the Spurs game, probably most likely on the bench, and other options in there where you could have Gyökeres and Jesus or something like that as well, or Ezra in there. I don't expect to see it too much, but I did like it. But I think he was also partly effective as well because we essentially played 2 10s, and I wonder how he'd have fared on his own in that 10 role.
Mm.
But he's a smart enough player where I think you could probably put him in goal and have a decent game. He's good enough to play anywhere. But I do prefer him on the right, and I think that's where I'd like to see it. But the interchange idea, I think he could interchange with Odegaard or Havertz sort of for 5-10 minutes, or just on an attack and drift inside while the other goes outside. I think that could cause problems for opposition defenders. So from that point of view, that's almost where I sort of see it, that he drifts inside for 5 minutes and goes back out.
Yeah, I'm not sure about. I think you'd have to make it a 3 in midfield, wouldn't you, rather than swapping out? Because I don't like the idea of Odegaard on the right wing, really.
No, you do it just for sort of a 2-3 minute spell, wouldn't you? Where actually, let's say Rice gets the ball or Zubimendi gets the ball. It flings into Odegaard. Odegaard knocks it into Saka, who drifts inside to the 10 roll, and Odegaard drifts outside and the ball's flicked. That sort of thing where it's, sort of interchange in a build up, or for, a very small period of time for five minutes or so, just to confuse the defender rather than, Odegaard's going to play right wing for 90 minutes and Saka's going to play 10 for right,
Yeah, I mean that's never going to happen. But I mean,
no, but that's what I was meaning by the interchange.
Yeah,
you do it.
Yeah, like I've said to you before, and you kind of mooted the same kind of point, is that we were most effective when we've interchanged, swapped positions, and kind of confused defenders a little bit more. And I think we need to do a lot more of that, to be honest. And
we've spoken before about the wingers doing it, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we need to either bring the 10 back, or we need to play with Havertz has shown it's quite effective using that kind of shadow striker. I
wonder if that's the way we're going.
False
right?
9-10 role, but that's what it looked like. He was actually kind of going with Saka a little bit.
Yeah, Saka. Ezra was the deeper of the two. Saka was much further forward. It changed a bit in the second half. Well, it didn't change a bit in the second half because Jesus went into that role. But at times they were able to sort of switch it up a little bit. But I don't know what your thoughts are on this. If you let's just for a moment pretend these sort of rumours are definitely going to happen, right? So Odegaard is saying that's been sort of poo-pooed, that idea that he was about to be sold.
Yeah, he's never going. He's never going. He might lose the captaincy, but he's not going.
Yeah, exactly. And I never gave much credence to those reports anyway, just because they were sort of coming from bonkers places. But
and going to Man United as well.
Exactly.
They don't even need him at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. If you said that Dortmund were going to sign him or something like that, you'd be like, oh, well, okay, I could see that. But
I think
would he want to go to Dortmund
as well, wouldn't it?
But you could sort of understand from a Dortmund perspective, but not an Odegaard perspective. But the reason I bring it up is obviously the Julian Alvarez has been linked, and you sort of think he's a very similar player to Havertz. He can play left wing. He can play. Havertz is more right sided, but he can play 9. He can play sort of as a second striker, and I think probably the second striker is his best role. And you're just thinking, is that deliberate? Because you've got Kai Havertz. Why would you do both? And I wonder if that's because you can then play them both together, or with Gyökeres, one of them plays with Gyökeres. And does that mean that Odegaard ends up being in the 8? Because Arteta has talked a lot about he wants to come deep to receive the ball. And is that then what we almost do? Or, and there's times where Zubimendi and Rice do rotate around next year, particularly if you're concerned about Marino's long term after the sort of freak injury he's got. Is that something we look to do? And that's, you're seeing it more and more this season on the pitch. And is that sort of the thinking for sort of the rest of the season and next? I don't know what you think, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if Marino is a long-term thing anyway, because I always thought that when we were getting him, he was a bit of a facilitator
Stopgap.
well, he was a facilitator for Submendi. So it was basically, yeah, you can take him, but you've got to take both of them. And you've got to do it in this fashion and whatever. So I don't have any evidence of that, but they are best mates, and it does seem a bit weird that he wouldn't go to somewhere else that was going to potentially win a title, but he come to us. Now I know we have a big Spanish contingent. They have Spanish players at Liverpool as well, don't they? So I mean, I don't really understand
Exactly.
what the real difference is there. Maybe I don't know. I was going to say wages, but his wages are less now. I think they're only like 75k or something like that. Granted, they might have changed it so they're more bonus related. But
Yeah, I can't believe it. His his overall package is 75k a week.
No, his overall package is
Yeah.
not going to be that. But what I'm saying, we've often worked off a base salary package rather than
A
a
bonus
salary
related one.
package plus bonus related, because we're not ambitious enough to put, players aren't stupid enough to sign contracts with us on bonus related, because we're not ambitious enough.
We've not, it's maybe not ambitious enough, but certainly haven't been successful enough recently, and therefore you don't want that, and therefore,
but that's what I
whereas
mean.
Liverpool have,
Perceived as not
yes,
ambitious enough. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just kind of it looking at it like that. So yeah, it's a little bit odd. And I don't know what you feel, but I'm gonna take it left field, because I'm just obviously kind of gonna fast forward into the summer, purely because you kind of broach the subject a little bit. I still need that left.
It's a good job we don't plan these, isn't it?
I have no. Yeah, these are just notes. These are yeah. And I've got notes of things I need to talk about, but it's just kind of just.
I've got Jackal
in no particular order, so it is just what it is, But summer wise, I still think I want that left wing fixed. I think one of, if not both, Trossard, Martinelli go. And
yes, I think so.
If we get an Alvarez as well, so we get a left wing, maybe Yildiz, if you like, and Alvarez, if that can happen on some way, shape, or form.
I don't see why that should be beyond the realms of possibility, though, because if you look at the finances, right, you've got 3 years of Champions League again. You'd expect to go relatively deep in the Champions League this year. Let's say it's the quarterfinals.
We're already on 100 million, I think, aren't we?
Exactly. Let's say it's the quarterfinals, just for argument's sake. So slightly less than last year. We've significantly increased commercial revenue.
Ticket prices going up.
Ticket prices going up. Wages have gone up, admittedly. But you've got all of these financial things. We're going to go. We've gone far in the domestic cups, albeit they're limited revenue, but it helps with the advertising.
It's not. Yeah, it's more sponsorship, isn't it? It's not. It's
exactly.
Not revenue, that is it.
And obviously, you've got the Premier League money as well. So you look at all that and go, "There's that." You'd expect to generate some money from sales, as you said, because I think we're in a position this summer where we will sell. Ben White is another option with his injury sort of record. Much as I love Ben White, I think Arsenal won't look to actively sell him, but they get a good bid. I think they're considerate. That comes in. Let's, for argument's sake, say you sell Martinelli and Trossard for argument's sake. You'd need 2 left wingers, I think, or 2 attacking players anyway.
I don't think you do, because you put Ezra there.
Well, I think just from squad size, I think you're going to need to maintain the rough squad size we got now, simply because it's a World Cup year, and I think injuries will go through the roof across the league next year, because there's more and more games. So, I don't think Arteta will want to reduce the squad size, particularly. But, we're spitballing here, of course. Jesus obviously goes on, I think, a free, because I think his contract's out. I don't,
I don't think it is. Is he?
Well,
Is he
it
actually
depends.
done?
Some people say his contract's out. Some people could say it's got 18 months left on it. You're probably getting limited revenue for him anyway, but that's a significant
Yeah,
contract.
but I'm not sure he's done. No.
But while you do that, let's say
Yeah,
you
keep
can probably
going,
you can probably bring in, let's say, let's say it's 35 for White, let's say it's 20 for Trossard because of his age, and let's say it's 50 for Martinelli. I think they're probably on the slightly low side, but that's over 100 million sort of in that. People talk about net sort of sales and stuff, net transfer thing. It doesn't tell the full picture, as we both agree on, but it does give you an indication on what you can do financially because of the amortization rules, right? So that suddenly that 100 million is kind of 300 because you can split your incoming over 3, 4, 5 years and you get the instant sugar rush from those sales. Suddenly you're in a position where you can be very, very active in transfer market with a few sales, which is what's allowed City to do what they've done, is because they've made some decent money from sales. It's not the rest of it. Obviously that helps, but it's those sales. So, you could see
and
a
they
world.
show their seats as full when they're not.
Yes, of course. Yeah. They're definitely going to sell out that new North Stand 100%.
Yeah,
because they sell out every week. Whereas the Emirates looked actually fairly full. I'm not sure it's 59, sorry, basically 60,000 because it was just a bit about 50 short, I think it was officially of 60,000.
On the Wigan game.
Wigan game, but it looked 58, 59.
I think it probably was, but obviously there was traffic and disruption and whatever. And
well, that's what I'm saying.
There are people that just move as well. So if you're up in the gods and you've got a mate down in block 8, there are people that move. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. People move out and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm looking on Capology. He does say 2 years on his.
There you go. So 5-10 million for him as well, with significant wages going out. But if the transfer market is active, because we saw a couple of years ago, it really wasn't. It was really good market for mid to sort of Europa League teams a couple of years ago. This summer just gone was huge for the big clubs, and you can see the spending differences between those big clubs and sort of the next level down. So, I think if it's an active summer market, Arsenal with a couple of sales on top of the significant revenue they got could be very, very active in the summer, and we could be seeing some big acquisitions, particularly if you're going into it from a position of strength where you've just won significant silverware. As long as they do it in a balanced way and don't do Liverpool, we'll be all right.
Yeah, fingers crossed in a way. T, welcome in. How are we?
I'm good. Good evening.
Did you clock need some batteries?
I knew it was coming.
I tried to avoid it, but it was inevitable. I tried to make any kind of statement that said I was late or anything, but I knew that it was coming. It was no escaping it. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're all right. We survived the Wigan test, not so much the Brentford test, but we're kind of on the train of we win the next 3 games. We don't care about Brentford really.
Exactly. Okay, so what have I missed, or what did I miss?
Well, we were just
you missed the time, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, we were late anyway. To be fair,
correct. We were. We were.
Exit stage left. But yeah, we were just on about. We just kind of adverted into the summer transfer window. Just because I got a thread and kind of pulled on it a little bit. What would you expect to happen in the summer transfer window?
Well, it all depends on how the season ends. I mean,
does it really? Do you think it does? I don't think it
for
does.
me, I think not completely, but in a way it does. Like, you could look at it this way. On one hand, we're still in for 4 titles this season. So imagine, say, we end up winning the league and say the FA Cup, or the league and the Champions League, or the Champions League and the FA Cup. Yeah. No, League Cup, I'll probably say is probably more like an add-on. But just assume we win the Champions League and then we win the league, or the Champions League and the FA Cup, or the league and the FA Cup. That means this group of players will have been champions of a significant trophy together. So there might not be a lot of shake-up. Because, I mean, looking at this season, from what we've seen from the beginning to the end, we're like, we need better wingers that can actually convert in terms of goals and assists and all that. The
Both
defense is
sides or
solid.
just the left side?
For me, the left side most importantly. But
Yeah,
I mean, we know what Saka is capable of, and we know now that if Saka is fit for the season, Madueke is a good backup, and then we still have Max Daumann coming in. But the right side is where we seem to be having the major. I mean, nobody on the right side has given us the kind of season Saka gave us 2 seasons ago. So we know what.
The one caveat I would put into that though is a lot of the set piece goals have come from that side.
Yeah, the corners, right?
As of 3 of the own goals from that side as well, by the way, which don't obviously count.
This is where I was going. So they're I think 4 actually.
Is it 4? There you go.
I think 4 own goals came from that side, and
yeah,
2 of them were basically tap-ins if the own goal didn't happen.
Yeah.
The other one maybe an open goal, so probably that one happens as well. And the other one was probably a bit further out and probably doesn't happen. But the only other one came from the other side, wasn't it, with an Eze corner?
Yes,
I seem to recall.
Yeah, there was an Eze corner from the left side.
Yes,
was it Eze or Madueke? But it certainly came from that side.
No, it's Eze from the other side. Madueke doesn't take him that side.
No, I thought it was just one of those things where where you sort of like it was Eze. Was it?
Yeah,
just that's
it was definitely Eze. So I think he's missed out on 3 assists there. I mean, I know it's still below expectations, and I'm clutching, but every assist kind of makes a little bit of difference, doesn't it? But
there's also the more equal attacks left and right this season. In past seasons, it's been very right side dominant.
That is true as well, isn't it? We've been a lot more kind of balanced on one side or the other. I mean, have we switched it? We haven't really switched the play. We just kind of gone through, and it's kind of doesn't matter which side it's fallen and whatnot. So that'd be the only caveat I put in. But yeah, Saka in the 10, yay or nay?
For me, no, not this close to the end of the season. No, we can't be experimenting right now with the team. I mean, it was against Wigan.
In desperation, yes, but
if it, I don't really see it per se, but I understand what the idea might be. I mean, but I don't think in some games we won't need him to be there. I mean, let's not forget we have serious tough games coming up. We have Champions League coming up, FA Cup, league games.
I'm not for any stretch of the imagination say we're doing it in big games, but there are. I'm not sure I'd want to see it in any of the Premier League games, for example.
Maybe tomorrow night, maybe. But I'm with you guys. I don't necessarily want to see it, but that would be the type of game where you might see it. But
I don't really want to see it unless it's a last resort. And
yes, I agree.
Somebody's gone off or whatever, and we just basically can't get anything from midfield. Khalid says, "Evening, guys. Evening, Khalid. How are we, sir? Welcome in." Guys, make sure you're hitting the like and subscribing to the channel as well, please. That'd be much appreciated. Sorry, I kind of interrupted because I didn't want to go off on another tangent. We've done 3 already.
So like I was saying, the defense is good. The midfield, for me, where we seem to be lacking in the midfield is the attacking part, the creative part. And the thing is, I don't know if the injury that Odegaard suffered towards the end of the season before and last season probably is maybe it's up here in the head, because he's not been the same player that he was back in the 2023, 2024 season. And it might be time for Arsenal to look elsewhere if it continues. But then the thing is, we don't know what the manager thinks or what is going on behind the scenes and everything. So in the attacking midfield, definitely we might need to get someone better to up the game. And then in attack, I mean, I don't believe Jesus is going to be here next season. I don't know what the plan is with Kai Havertz. Is he going to drop down to an 8, or is he going to be a second attacking option or a first choice option? Who knows? But I think, look. I mean, personally, I think we need a striker that's better than Gyökeres going forward. I mean, I've been a fan of Gyökeres, but we need a striker that's a bit more polished in terms of the overall gameplay, because of the way this Arsenal team is set up. Because the way we are set up right now, we're not set up for a poacher. We're set up for a striker that can actually hold up the game, play with both feet, and have some sort of finesse with him. Because I see Gyökeres like Jamie Vardy back then when Leicester was hot, when they were banging in the goals. Because Vardy wasn't really good with his legs, but he knew how to finish. Just give him the balls. I mean, I was watching some of his comp. I stumbled on it on YouTube. All he did was make the right runs, and then the ball was put in front of him, and then he just smashes it into the net. So it wasn't like
he was quick as well. He was really
exactly.
quick.
It was very quick. It was lightning quick. So he didn't need to go. He didn't need to beat one or two defenders.
I mean, in that title winning season, he did know how to win a penalty as well. That's that really helps.
So the thing is, but
that dangle of a leg.
I always hate that dangle of a leg.
Disgusting.
But this Arsenal team right now, you need a striker that can actually play football, all round football. That's the thing, and we don't create enough. Like the way Gyökeres plays, he makes some runs that some of our midfielders, even our attackers, don't find him when he makes those runs. We watch the games. He makes some runs, and I don't know if
this is exactly what I thought. You know, with your explanation of Gyökeres,
I was thinking the same.
I thought you were explaining Kai Havertz.
Khalid, definitely on the same wavelength as both me and you there, Sparks.
Yeah. But I thought you were. I get the whole. He's just good with his legs, but so's Havertz. Havertz is that guy. He's that guy that just kind of gangles around. And makes things happen.
When Arsenal fans were like, we want Havertz, when Gyökeres wasn't scoring, I'm like, this is the same guy that we were all like, nah, he's not good enough the whole of last season.
Oh no, we all haven't been like that.
Yeah,
we haven't all been like that. It's just certain people that run certain.
I'm like, we all know what Kai brings. We know what he can do. So the thing is, depending on the way we play, like I said, if you have some like look at the pass that Eze gave to Madueke. The pass for I think it was his first goal or second goal, but I didn't catch the game that much. That kind of pass, I don't know. Our midfielders are more or less scared to put in that kind of pass because we see opportunities in games that they have. They've been able to see that kind of chance, but they don't give that kind of pass. They're either too scared to lose the ball.
That is the reason that Gyökeres isn't there, is because we rarely do that pass.
Exactly.
And he goes, well, I've made that run 13 times now, and nobody's passed the ball, so why am I bothering? And that's the problem.
I think just on that though, I also think that he's made those runs relatively predictably at times, but at times he has made them quite effectively. But also, there is a significant difference here between the Premier League, where we don't see that very often because there isn't that space to play that ball. We have seen us play that ball much more effectively on the rare occasions in the league, but most prominently in the Champions League and the Cups, where that space has been there. Wigan obviously left a space because they just weren't good enough. I mean, they were kamikaze in the first 20 minutes or so with their line. But we have seen that there. But that's why I like a different profile of strikers. Like Gyökeres, very different type of striker to Jesus and Havertz. And I like that mix. I think it's really important to have a different types of strikers in there, to be honest with you. I think it really is important.
But as well, there was twice where Martinelli did that, tried the Henry curl around goal. He tries to curl it around the goalkeeper, and it either goes wide. I mean, one of them was a sitter anyway. I don't know how he missed it, to be honest. And the other one, I think he should have scored as well. But yeah, I think was that against Bayern. I think that second one was against Bayern.
It was certainly in the Champions League.
Yeah, it was definitely Champions League, wasn't it? Yeah, but both occasions he could either looked up at Martinelli, who was in the at Gyökeres, who was in the middle, or he could just not looked at him and literally just slid the ball at him.
Yeah,
and he just smashes it. He smashed the keeper in the goal. He probably smashes the keeper into the goal from that position, because we all know what power he gets on it. So I do think Gyökeres gets a bit of stick, some warranted and some not warranted, because I think that I think the supply line, Saka has been desperately eager to get a goal.
Yes.
So he doesn't play the ball.
Clearly obvious.
Yeah.
It's been too obvious.
Ødegaard's been like that a little bit as well since he's kind of come back. He's kind of got that desperate snappiness in his.
But do you think the World Cup has something to do with it? Like the World Cup, does it have something to do with it?
Just think it was obviously the timing of the season. It's just just they did have the qualifiers and whatever, didn't they? That was kind of in the middle. The 3 international breaks at the start of the season. Maybe that didn't really help.
I think there's something about them wanting a goal for their own confidence. You know, they just felt they weren't scoring enough. They just wanted one, and I think that's a big reason.
Yeah,
but winning boosts confidence too. I mean, if you're winning, it does.
Yeah, but as much as you want to do it as a team, you want to be the man as well. And
they've got egos.
If you're not
in a good way,
yeah.
It's good.
If you're not on form and you're taking stick, then you know.
You want to end that stick,
shuts it up, doesn't it? Really,
yeah.
For the most part. I mean, look at Madueke, right? He scored that corner that was supposed to be an own goal, and I never understood why it was given as an own goal against Leeds. I thought it was in, and it turned out it was in. And then that header. I mean, what did you make of that header? Do you think he actually meant to do it in that corner?
Oh yes.
I know he wanted to send it back that way.
Yeah, but if you watch the replay, he didn't actually hit the ball. He
didn't get anything on it, really, did he?
Yeah, he just hit him, to be honest,
and hit him, and then go.
Yeah, he jumped early. He got up there, and it was almost like, it kind of impacted him and went in the goal at the same time. So it was like,
So how I know he meant it was that I've scored the same kind of goal before, and I knew exactly what was going through my head. That's why he probably meant it.
Yeah,
because I've scored that kind of goal before, so I'm sure he meant it.
Fair enough.
But I don't know what goal scoring is, T. I did do it on Friday. I scored for the first time in donkey's years.
I thought you were going to say what heading is, and
I win so much, mate. Honestly, yesterday was a proper ding dong battle. I came off feeling like Gabriel.
Honestly, I went to the football with Dom, and I was looking for somebody. I knew he was short, but I didn't know he was that short.
Yeah. my 10-year-old is like here on me, like wow. Yeah. I mean, he's a big lad, to be fair, but I'm 5'1" at best.
So like I was saying, so if Arsenal gets to win a couple of trophies this season, there might not be that much shake-up. But the thing is, if God forbid we don't win any trophy or any major trophy, then there might be some form of desperation from the board, from the manager, to shake things up. Because I mean, let's be real, we've had this crop of players, the main core, that's Martinelli, Kai Havertz, Saka, Odegaard, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, the core. We've had them for almost 5 seasons and they've not won anything.
Yeah, so but I mean, this is the first season we've had the depth. If that's only
exactly,
we've been building over
that
time,
really.
Yeah,
yes, but the thing is, there's still some form of desperation, either with the club itself, the players, the manager, or the management. Because whether we like it or not, winning is good for business. It's also good. So definitely, but if we win a couple of major trophies this season, there might be some sort of, okay, let's hold up. We've won. So let's see if we can make it work again. But if we don't win, God forbid, then there might be some shake-up. But then, I mean, the only thing I know is the defense is solid. Then the midfield and attack might be where there might be a couple of, and it won't really be that much of a major shake-up. But the thing is, I see maybe 2, probably 3 major signings if we don't win anything this season to come in. And major, like we may have to get rid of some other major players to get those ones in. But barring that, probably maybe 1 signing, and that's if Jesus leaves at the end of the season. That's what
I think there's more of a danger that your best players leave rather than anything else if you don't win anything. But exactly. I don't think we'll be in that world, to be honest. I genuinely think we're going to win something.
Evening, SJ, how are we, mate? Good to have you in. Guys, please make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe and sharing it all out to all your mates. Khalid says, trust me, we're winning a major. I really hope so. We're in a great position to do that. And I do think from this position, I do think it would be perceived as a bottle job if we don't get over the line. So
this for me would be the first bottle job, right? I know people.
I think it's a second. I think it's a second, but I do not really. I do think the first one was a tentative one, but
which one was the first one?
I think it's more. I don't think it's from the title. I think it's when we didn't get in Champions League.
That one, I think yes, I think you could call that one.
I'm not saying the title race was a bottle job. I'm saying that the one the year before
where we finished fifth.
We lost 2-0.
I
think that was a bottle job, but not only to get in the Champions League spaces.
I'm not fully there, but I'm not gonna argue against that one, but I was obviously referring to the league title ones.
I get that, and it's everybody's got a different take, at the end of the day, and I'm not saying I'm right and anybody else is wrong, unlike other certain people on the on the airwaves, but it's just my opinion, and if people don't like it, they don't like it, and if they do, happy days, who cares?
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't argue with you on that one either. It is exactly one of those ones where you can see that one either way on that particular example.
So SJ says, on duty tonight, so I can't join, but be follow where I can. Thank you very much, sir. We look forward to when you can get on the show again. Draw or loss is unthinkable tomorrow. We said that as well, where it was the Brentford result is kind of swallowable, if you like, provided we get through Wolves, Spurs, and Chelsea. If we get that through those with full points, then it negates that anyway. So it's like it didn't even matter. In my opinion, and I still think in those 3 games, I think City dropped some points in 3 of those.
I just don't see anyone going between now and the season without dropping points.
They have to be. If we do 10 out of 12 or 9 out of 12, they have to be perfect, don't they?
If we do 9 wins and a draw, even if you lost to City, they've got to be near perfect, and I just don't.
Where do you put the draw though?
I mean, I was just using it just as a
You don't put the draw at Etihad.
No, if you assume City lose, beat us. Sorry, I mean 10 wins and a draw. If a draw wins for us against City, then I think that really is it. But even if we lose, I think City still need to be relatively perfect. And I just look at this league, and I
don't think we lose to City though.
Well, I was just sort of spitballing that if you did, I still think that's not title over, because I just think while the quality of the league in terms of like the style of football on play isn't necessarily what it was a couple of years ago, I actually think it's harder to win in many ways, because when the likes of, I'm just going to use Leeds as an example, Leeds come out, 3-4 years ago, they would have played football, a team in that position. And Liverpool and City were going to spank them. Arsenal would spank them today. We saw it this season. But actually, and Leeds is a bad example because they didn't necessarily do this, but more and more teams are just sitting back, and you can lower the quality
gap.
They did to a point, but
they weren't as open as we were when we beat them 5-0.
Exactly.
But they did sit back for the most part. They weren't I mean, they probably tried a mid block rather than a low block.
Yes. But I would say they're a bad example because they didn't sit as deep as other teams. But but you are negating the quality gap when you're sitting deep, because Premier League sides, generally speaking, are good enough to concede very few goals if they sit deep, even against a better attack. Whereas 3-4 years ago, you were seeing these 100 points, and they were incredible achievements. I'm taking absolutely nothing away from them because the league was still strong, but in some ways, the quality gap was bigger because everyone was trying to play that expansive football. You simplify football, which is essentially what teams are doing this season. The quality of watching it is much poorer, but actually
they got goaded into playing, didn't they? I mean,
Yeah.
it was a very, very kind of pep tactic. There's basically, you're crap if you don't come out and play, basically.
And everyone fell for it.
And everybody fell for it and just carried on playing and just got ripped open. And
exactly.
He won before you even got on the pitch, mate. So
yeah, exactly. But teams aren't doing that now, and that's why I think all the teams, including us and City, will drop points between now and the end of the season. And of course, there'll be a collective meltdown when it inevitably happens to us. But we ignore the fact it's happening to City as well. And as I said at the top when we were talking about Brentford are the second most informed team over the last 10 games with 21 points, and we're second with 20. We're top with 21. It shows that teams are dropping points. That's a big old drop when you think about it over 10 games. That's 10 for the top two. They've dropped 19 points out of 60 for the top two.
Yeah, I mean, what Khalid says here is I need to start scoring fast because team will waste time and play for a draw longer the game goes on. And the thing for me is
with that, though.
Say again.
Yeah, I agree with that because
my biggest problem. Yeah, but my biggest problem with it is that basically all defenders do is they turned around, get a nudge on the shoulder. I mean, how that was a booking on the on Gyökeres. He just literally dove, and the crowd same old Arsenal always cheating, and the geezer's just throwing themselves to the floor. Even the guy that scored, that Lewis Potter, literally just throwing himself to the floor in the middle of the field. And the ref's just buying everything up. And I don't blame the ref. I blame the rules because, an attacker does that happens to an attacker. He ain't getting a free kick.
No, and look, and obviously we didn't draw the game because of the referee, but I know what you mean.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I knew you weren't. I was just clarifying for anyone thinking that's what we were saying because we weren't. But
yeah, I was thinking more of the general play. You're trying to do things to speed the game up to make the game less stop-start, but you're giving defenders, when they're breathed up upon the winds in the wrong direction, you're giving them a free kick for nothing. And I think they need to bring the obstruction rule back.
Yeah, no, but the thing with rules is that when the defender is with the ball, the referee gives the defender the advantage. That's why any kind of small touch the referee blows, like free kick and all that. Sometimes the referee chooses to ignore it, and most of the time, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the time the referee ignores stuff like that. It's always when it happens to Arsenal because, like,
I don't think it's just happened when no, I don't agree.
I don't agree either.
I just think it's just. I think what it is sometimes they think it's in the defensive third, so it's not worth giving a free kick. And other times they're just like, well, it's actually going to take more time for them to take a free kick, so it's actually going to play into their hands to give them a free kick.
I also think there's an element of we notice it more when it happens to our team as well.
Yeah, I just think
we're watching
it happens like that.
But I agree with you, Spox. I think that is both the points you made are also absolutely spot on.
They're not in danger zones, so it's basically, well, it doesn't really matter if I give it or not. I'll give that one. I won't give that one. I mean, look at the in the first half, he was giving free kicks for everything, and then in the second half, there wasn't a free kick for anything. It was like he
used up his quota.
yeah, it did seem like that, right? It felt like that he just gone, well, What's happening
Well,
there?
she's going to get that girl come up, with
the clown.
That's it, the clown
The
doll.
clown face with the girl with the table tennis bat, whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh dear me.
What's the other one? It's was it Art Attack or something when they had? Yeah, it basically had that screen.
Was it Art Attack? It might have been.
I think it was something like that. Yeah. You fizzled out. Your internet just It's all the red and white.
It was the camera.
Now.
I had everything. I saw everything. It was the camera that was messing up.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So obviously Saka got his renewed contract. It's supposed to be. They say it's in excess of 300 grand. What do we think of that?
Well, I think being told that it was never going to happen by certain people might want to rethink that one. Not just him alone, but several people were saying it was never going to happen because he wasn't signed until we won something. I think there is a danger, obviously. Yeah, exactly. I think there's a danger if in 2-3 years' time Saka hasn't won anything here that he moves on. But I don't think in the next year or two that's a risk. I think. There's a risk that some players might move on if we don't win anything this year, but I don't think Saka's one particular. And even if he does, we've now protected the value quite significantly. But this is good news for the club. He's a talisman. He's the poster boy through Hale End. Obviously he's having a little bit of a down season, but he's been phenomenal for Arsenal since he broke through into a team originally under, was it Freddie Ljungberg gave him his debut or Emery? But obviously
it was Emery at left back.
It was Emery, wasn't it? Yeah. But he's obviously, really developed massively under Mikel Arteta, and he's just such a good player. So there can't be anyone that's unhappy about this signing, in the Arsenal ranks. It's a really good news story from an Arsenal perspective.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you get the people basically saying, "No, 300k is a lot of money. It's this, that, and the other." And when you think that other teams have other talismans on ridiculously more money. Now, granted, they've obviously won stuff or whatever, but you want the players to stay. You got to pay the money, otherwise you end up either going down the same road as Chelsea, the same road as Tottenham. And nobody wants to stay, do they? You got to pay the money, and you got to be in a position where you can do that. So at the end of the day, I'm happy staying. Hopefully he lifts a trophy this season as well, and kind of it heads it home that he's in the right place. He's here to stay, but.
Well, personally, I just hope it now gets his head in the right space. Now, okay, the new deal is done, it's dusted. Now let's focus on bringing this season home. That's what I just hope. This is a thing for me as well. Yeah, you need to now get. Yes, you've had a rough start. You've got it out of the way. You've done whatever. You got the contract. PR time with obviously ticket rises and whatever as well coming along with it. It's typical Arsenal, isn't it? With every upside, there's always a downside. So like you say, it just needs to. He needs to step up and he needs to bring it home, doesn't he? It just needs to be that guy.
There's also the fact as well, the impact it might have on those around him and the crowd as well, that may well also be a significant boost for us here. It's another sort of boost as we sort of start towards the business end of the season, as it were.
It will rev up the crowd. Obviously when he's introduced, I mean, it does anyway, but it will definitely do it a bit more. Certainly in the early days, but Hyper, welcome in, sir. Big up yourself. Make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe, and we'll I don't know what I was going to say then, but there you go. Just went in on different roads, but I think it's it's only a positive sign anyway that that he's re-signed. Obviously, we've had news today as well that Odegaard, Calafiori, and White, there are no problems with them.
And Havertz could be back on Sunday, of course.
Havertz could be back, but that was a could be. That was a tentative. So I don't.
I wouldn't read too much into that one.
I would be very expectant of maybe a 20-minute if desperate sort of thing.
Or just mind games with the new Tottenham manager.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think it's more in preparation for Chelsea as well.
Yeah,
because he likes to play against Chelsea, so yeah,
he does like Chelsea.
He definitely loves to play Chelsea, but yeah.
Thankfully, there was loads of Chelsea fans to see his last goal against him. Oh no, they were all leaving.
Yips. But yeah, apparently that I mean, I've seen a lot on the timelines today that so and so was taken out of the starting lineup, and they're available 2 days later, and it's apparently a problem, right? So it's a problem when you start a guy, you play him for 5 minutes and he gets injured, and he can't play for 5 weeks. So that's a problem. But it's also a problem if you know, if a guy comes up and goes, you know, he did Arteta did a press conference and he said he was asked. So they basically said 3 times somebody's knocked on your door and said, yeah, I feel tight. What blah 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 whatever. And he said no 4 times. So I don't know who the 4th one was.
Don't know.
I think it might have been the same player twice.
Could have been.
It might have been Calafiori twice.
That would be a good shout there, because obviously he's, you know, had issues before. But you know, I don't understand. Right? There's obviously we've had a lot of issues sort of in warm-up games, but from an Arsenal perspective, you're looking at it and going, well, people are moaning when we start Saliba, as you just said. We should have done that. And now they're moaning that we're not risking them. This was precautionary on Calafiori, precautionary on White. You know, it gets to the point where you're like, just stop moaning. I don't understand it. Like, what, you know, well, we've got to stop it. Well, what do you want them to do? Stop warming up. You know, it's like, you know, people are saying we've had a lot of injuries this season, and the managers, it's all because of the manager. Right? Well, actually, a significant amount of our injuries this season have been contact injuries. You know, when you look at muscle injuries across the league this season, we're bang average for the number. You know, and that includes people like Havertz and Jesus, you know, which do take us just over the halfway mark, but they were injured coming into the season and essentially missed the entirety of the first half of the season as a result of their muscle injuries from last season. So yeah, it really winds me up. Like, do you know what? Why don't you come up with a solution instead of moaning about everything? It really, really irritates me. It really does.
Yeah, it's like every single time anything happens, it's like sack the medical team, and yeah, you must be doing something in training. He's already told you we don't train. Yeah. They do warm up procedures. That's it. They don't really train. If you're playing every 3 days, you're not training.
You're certainly not doing any high intensity training anyway, which is what he means.
So you might be jogging round a few cones here and there.
A little bit of a passing drill, the odd rondo, but
yeah, you're kicking a ball around, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're not doing anything with any kind of intensity if you're playing every 3 days.
You don't need to
do. Well, yeah, you don't, because the matches do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And all right.
The coaches are already complaining about recovery time. So what time do you have to train if you have to recover?
Yeah, so you can't play a game, recover, train, recover, play, recover, train, recover. Where's your rest? You need to rest. It's just not happening. But yeah, always a problem. Always seems to be a problem. No matter what happens, there's always a problem.
A lot of fans really haven't played competitive sports for a period of time in their life. A lot of them just play.
I got a step further, right?
Competitive sports.
I got a step further, right? I don't think many fans have left their house ever. Right, yeah. I'm not going to stand on a pebble because keyboard warriors and I played Football Manager sometimes, so I know exactly what happens.
On FIFA it doesn't happen, but I mean, to the point you're
It
making
actually
here.
does, to be fair.
But the point you're making here, right? I think it was Tom Canton was saying he accidentally, it was either him or a journalist in the press conference, accidentally suggested that they were training too much. What he meant was managing workload. He misspoke and he did correct himself. But Mikel Arteta instantly corrected him, went, "We don't train." And at which point, I think it was Tom Canton said, they sort of corrected him, went, "I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant, managing the workload of Yuri and Timber, not train too much." And you could just see how defensive he was of it, because it's not that, and it, just any common sense applied to it, and that's not what's happening. It's just it irritates me. I don't know why, but it does.
Well, it irritates because there's always a problem. It doesn't matter what you do, there's a problem with something, and it's just like, man, just stop complaining about everything.
Well, what I mean by I don't know why it irritates me. I don't know why it irritates me because I know they're going to complain, and it doesn't really matter until the manager goes. Even if he won the quadruple, they still won't. Which I don't think he will. There are certain people that would still just moan and whinge about it, and that's why I don't know why I bother moaning, because it's a waste of my time and effort. But but you're exactly right. That is why it irritates me.
Yeah. Equally, I think that I think that. Even if Arteta does win stuff, I still think it's going to be the time element. It's going to be, he needed all this money to do it. He needed this. He needed everything to be perfect and whatever. And it's like, and I know as well, some of these people are going to take credit for it.
Yeah, and the goalpost will move. Well, he's got to do it again to show he's good.
If Arteta wins a quadruple this season, fans will still find a way to mock up about it, like to find an excuse to blame the manager.
Yeah. And by the way, he's not saying that we're going to win the quadruple.
Yeah, just to be clear.
He was put in context that even if we did win the quadruple, that certain fans would complain about it.
Yeah, I've been taking some stick because I made a comparison between Madueke and Ronaldo yesterday, and some of it was light-hearted, but the comparison wasn't between them as players, right, at all, like in terms of their quality. The comparison I was making, was that Madueke, right, comes in, he's got all the skills, he can beat a player, but he opens down blind alleys too often and doesn't necessarily pick the final right ball. And the comparison I was making was that Alex Ferguson made similar comments about Ronaldo and said it was just being drilled and drilled and drilled into him until he understood what he was supposed to do, but he didn't always need to do the trick, and that sometimes the simple little interchanges were more effective than doing a worldly bit of skill. And I was sort of talking about how you're seeing in games Madueke look up a little bit more. He's still frustrating, but you're looking at him making those clever little you can see the improvement in him coming slowly, and that's coaching. There's a long way to go, and of course he's never going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. But again, thank you for caveating, because I obviously wasn't saying we're winning quadruple, and again, on just using that example, not saying Madueke is Ronaldo, but you can see the similarities in that.
But if you're comparing that to the way Martinelli advances, for example, he hasn't really changed in his approach in like 3 years.
No, he hasn't. You're absolutely right. But my hope with Madueke is that he sort of does manage to sort of, and there are some signs on occasions that he's sort of learning that actually, do you know what, that doing that is a better use of my skill than trying to beat everyone myself with these amazing time will tell whether he does adapt to it or not. My hope is that the coaching will help him, and I've seen some improvement from him already and some changes to his game already that I hope sort of continues over time. Madueke, not Martinelli.
That's what I'm saying. At least you can see the improvement. You can see what is his development from that point.
My fear in Martinelli is I hope his career doesn't take the same way that Theo Walcott's career went, because the moment Walcott lost his speed, he almost lost everything. But when he had that speed, it was a terror. It was a nightmare to defenders. But he never improved on his finishing. He never improved on his shooting. It was still the same. And the moment the speed was gone, we all saw it.
Honestly, though, Walcott is so he's not underrated as such, but he's like misunderstood, I guess, because the side he was in
wasn't great.
Wasn't great, and
Yeah, well,
yeah,
true.
once the big guys left, and he was kind of doing it all on his own. I mean, he scored over 100 goals for us, and yeah, you say it's all he had was pace, but he had it in abundance, and he was quality on his day. Granted, he had off days.
The off days were bad, but
the off days were really bad. But
the good days were really, really good.
The good days were really good. Yeah, hat tricks against Newcastle. I always remember that one where he basically he got fouled 3 times.
Fell, came back up again, beat his man, fouled again, came back.
Yeah. And he still put it away, and he just wheeled away, and he just looked at the ref, and he's just like, and he just kind of give him a nod, and off he got. I can't remember who the ref was on that day, but yeah, he wasn't happy with him. Yeah,
I can't think why not.
it was ridiculous actually that he basically got his legs swiped from underneath him.
But the thing is, to be fair, he never actually lost the ball. The ball was right there in front of him, so maybe the ref was playing an advantage.
Oh, well, yeah, but he was on his arse twice.
I mean, in hindsight, quite glad the referee didn't give it, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. But
that game, that was a 7. Was it 7-2 or 7-3 game? It was a high scoring game.
7-2. I think it was 7-2.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
Rumors Ødegaard's agent is looking for new clubs for him.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that like a couple of posts on Twitter.
It's been rubbish by several reputable journalists.
Well, the first rubbish point was because it was linked to Man United.
Manchester, yeah, exactly. That was
absolute nonsense. Bruno's not going anywhere anyway, is he? So it's that's kind of nonsense. I don't really think if he goes anywhere, I don't think he goes anywhere in this league.
No.
I think he goes abroad somewhere. His valuation's like 75 million euros. So it'd be interesting to see how much we actually got for him if that was a situation. But I don't really I don't see him going anywhere anyway, to be honest. He loves him too much. So I don't know if you've got any differing kind of thoughts on that.
No, none for me at all. I think we touched on it briefly earlier, but I was just sort of hypothesicating a scenario, which is what we sort of brought it to the fore. But I always thought that I didn't give it any credence until reputable journalists covered it, because it didn't logically add up in my head, and so it proved.
Khalid says he can't sell his son. Well, that's what it feels like, doesn't it? So yeah, the prodigal son. So yeah, unlikely. I do think they may he may be rotated of captaincy, so he might not have the captaincy next season, but we'll have to see on that front.
Well, would that be a good idea, though? Would that be good?
Look, I do you think, right? I'm going to put a question to you right now, right? I mean, Rice is already a captain on the pitch, right? But do you think with the armband he'd actually be better as the captain?
Well, with the armband, you probably have that captain's authority to be able to talk. Yeah, because right now he's a leader, but he's not a captain. They're two different things. I mean, with the captain, he knows that, okay, I have this authority. I can beat my chest that this is my team. I'm in charge. Right now, he's a leader. So he may be seen as a leader, but he's not a captain. They're two different things. So if he was a captain, yeah, I think there are some days like Gerrard, when Gerrard was captain of Liverpool, there were games that he wasn't really the best player on the pitch. Like that Champions League final, that was in 2005 in Istanbul. Mm-hmm. He wasn't the best player on the pitch for Liverpool that day. But once he got the header, he was able to galvanize the team, and everybody just rose to the occasion because it was him. That kind of thing is what I see someone like Rice. he could do. And with the armband, imagine you were down maybe to City at home or to a big team at home, and then Rice with the armband scores the equalizer. And then he goes.
I don't think he even needs to score. He literally
I'm just saying,
carries.
I'm just
He
saying
literally does the
armband.
Gerrard role
Yeah.
of carrying the team on his back.
Yeah. So the thing, but my issue now is I don't know where it has ever happened where a captain has been relieved of the captaincy and given to somebody else, and everything, the chemistry still remains the same in the team. I'm trying to see if I can remember any time that happened, because that's my only issue. Maybe not to unbalance the team chemistry and all that. That's my only issue with it.
But that's why I'm saying that he'd still be part of the captaincy group. Do you know what I mean? So he'd still be in the group, but he wouldn't be the captain as such.
So I have a different view on this. And my first view on it is I'm not really too bothered who wears the armband from the perspective of the team makeup and what have you, because you alluded to it there, Sparks. It's kind of a leadership group these days. And it's very different from the days that, we grew up with, Roy Keane, Vieira, Adams, Mabbott at Spurs, those sorts of sort of players that sort of heart on sleeve, chest thumping sort of stuff. I think football and leadership has kind of changed, and there are different kinds of leaders. And I think the important thing at Arsenal is you've got a whole variety of different leaders in that group. You've got the chest thumpers like Rice and Gabriel, which is automatically, of course, what the fans are drawn to. Excuse me, understandably so. But I think in the dressing room, and Mikel Arteta, I don't necessarily believe there was a vote of who they wanted the captains to be. I think that was sort of, to make his point rather than literal. But, you want the respect. If they've got the respect of the players, that's what matters. And as long as he's got the respect, I don't really care if he wears the armband or not, to be honest with you. For me, it's about having different kind of leaders, different kind of players that you can go to. If you like the sort of heart on the sleeve player, then you might go, and if you've got a problem, go and speak to Declan Rice. If you want a slightly quieter, more experienced player to talk to, then you might go and speak to Odegaard. And I think from a player's point of view, that's what's important. It's of course the fans that are desperate to see that sort of the sort of traditional captains that we sort of think of from yesteryear. So I don't really mind who wears the armband, to be perfectly blunt, but I know that's not a popular opinion, but I just think it reflective of the way the world is these days.
Yeah, I was thinking more from a point of view, and I think T was basically saying that it's how the dressing room would react to that rather than how the fans would react to it.
Yeah, agreed.
More than anything. So obviously it's it's difficult to know how it would affect the whole thing, but it's for me, I think it's something I consider. But
I think from a fan's point of view, you can see the attraction of it, but to T's point, as I say, it's the what happens in that dressing room that matters. And I don't see it happening, but unless Martin Odegaard says it's affecting me adversely and I'd like it taken away from me, but I don't see that happening either.
Yeah. Okay.
And I just believe that a lot of all this talk about him not being a good enough captain or him not being the kind of captain we want as fans, it also boils down to the fact that we just need to win something, because a lot of the meltdown, the nerves, and everything that is happening within the Gunnar fan base is the fact that a lot of them still feel that there's an element of bottling in this particular title chart, because they've seen it before. I mean, to some people, they think we bottled it before, and we've been close to winning it and not winning it. So everybody's still, a lot of them they're still anxious that what if we don't win it? What if we don't win it? So they're looking at everything that could be the reason why we don't, like I said in one of the old videos I made, it's never going to be easy winning a league title.
Yeah.
Especially playing against Man City with the likes of Silva, Haaland, they still have the Rodri, then they added Donnarumma, and then they have Pep Guardiola, who's won it 4 times in a row, who's been there before, he's experienced everything, who's also desperate to win titles, because let's not forget, he did not win anything significant last season. I mean, yes, he said he won the Community Shield, but we all know that.
Yeah, it only
he's also-
matters when City win it.
Exactly. So he's also under pressure, even not from the club, for himself, because he's never gone back. First of all, I think he's never gone a season without winning a trophy before. He did that last year, and there's a chance that he might go back-to-back seasons without winning anything. So there's pressure all around the league. It's not just an Arsenal.
I'll tell you what would be nice. What would
Yeah.
be nice is to be the team that stops them winning anything. Literally takes everything.
Everything.
That
And-
would be so nice, right?
That would
After
be,
missing out,
that would be cinema.
that'd be the
Absolute
pinnacle. I'm
cinema.
not saying it's going to happen, but that would be the absolute dream. Would
Yeah,
be
so,
to,
I mean-
to literally have that in everything in every final, every last day or whatever, and just go, right, we stopped you winning anything, mate.
I mean, the thing as
that'd
well
be
with
great.
his captaincy, to T's point here, someone I talk NFL with, he used to work on some NFL teams, and he said the thing is, when things are down and people are getting criticised for that, the best medicine, and this was a John Gruden quote, who's a famous sort of NFL coach, that it basically, and he heard him say it in the locker room, was winning kills all ills. So over to you guys, go and win, and everyone will shut up. And I think that's pretty much where Arsenal are in general, and Martin Odegaard in particular are right now.
Yeah, I mean, all these fake goals that everybody's putting in the way of 15 goals, and can we beat that, and can we do this, and can we do that? It's all just to go, well, you didn't beat the 15 goals. You might have won the title, but you didn't beat the 15 goals. You didn't do this. But,
Most boring side to win the title, don't care who won the title.
yeah, I wouldn't give a flying one, mate. I have no interest. How we win it, I just need to win it.
Yeah,
Just need to win it, and I want
That's it.
little twerps like the guy that's on the overlap, who's just brooding arrogance and all these.
you're not
people.
narrowing it down for me. Which one?
Have you not seen it? The overlap one.
Well, you could be describing anyone on the overlap.
The City fan on the overlap. The basically.
That one, yeah.
We don't respect anybody.
Yeah, the one that had the argument today, was it? But
it was out today. Obviously, I don't know where it was.
It wasn't
where
recorded
it was.
today, obviously, but yeah.
But yeah, it's just like and people saying, "Oh, this Arsenal fan is the reason we hate Arsenal," and you're like, I get that. He's kind of looking for some validation from it, but he's not entirely wrong. I don't think he's entirely wrong. I don't
either.
I don't think you have to be so disrespectful that, until we win a title, wear the shit off your shoe. Do you know what I mean? It's just not. I just don't get it, where this kind of nonsense comes from. And it's just like, well, I haven't seen you do anything. You're 20, mate. You're 20. I'm 49.
There is,
Who would have thought in double the amount of years that I would see more than you?
Yeah, look, Arsenal obviously will have to win something to fully earn the respect, but you can still respect this side as a good side, a side that has significantly grown and significantly improved in the last 5 years, to the point where we've gone from being a complete and utter laughingstock to being respected by teams, and teams are respecting us. They might laugh and they might find fault with us just so they've got something to beat us with, but they are respect with us. If you didn't respect Arsenal, Pep Guardiola doesn't go and put 10 men behind the ball for 45 minutes.
But these are the same people that are basically saying, "Oh, we're fighting against the best team in Europe."
Exactly. Which one is
So
it?
you're like, we haven't given them that tag. You have. You have given them that tag. And then you're still not giving them respect of being the best team in Europe without winning anything. Sure, happy day. Yeah, we get that. We get that.
Yeah, exactly.
But the media put that tag on us. You, as rival fans, have put that tag on us. It's not. We haven't. Granted, obviously, that there are certain fans out there, and I was listening to a pod earlier on. I had to turn it off because it was just like, "We're Arsenal and we're coming to get you," and we're this, that, and the other. And you're just like, "Mate,
shut up."
Just shut up," because that's not how 90% of the fan base feels.
But they speak for us, right?
But these guys speak for us, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's just like this, and there's another guy on the same show, basically telling this guy not to be arrogant while being arrogant. It's fucking crazy, absolutely crazy. But yeah, Khalid knows who obviously who's talking about as well. But he did say as well. He said, what was he said? He said, you drop one more point and it's in City's hands. You're like, what?
Well, you drop one more point and it's even more in our hands, right? I mean,
no, but it's not in their hands anyway. Because what you just saying you're automatically going to win the game at the Etihad.
Well, that's what he's meaning, but it doesn't work like that. You still got to go and win it. And yes, it is in their hands, but it's still in our hands, right? I mean, by definition,
even if we go into that game 3 points up,
it's still in our hands.
It's still in our hands. It's not in their hands. It's in ours. And it's like, oh yeah, but you're going to come to the Etihad and you're going to park the bus. What you mean? Like you came to
like you did at us, Emirates, exactly.
You know, and this is the problem. Nobody in there speaks up and goes, you did that at the Emirates, mate. Because everything's got to be about Arsenal. Everything's got to be digging out. And it's just nonsense. It's so boring.
It's frustrating as well, to be honest. I know I shouldn't get frustrated by it, but as I said earlier, but you know, it really does. And it winds me up even more when we do it to ourselves.
Yeah, that's the major point. It's okay when rival fans come at Arsenal fans. I mean, it's normal. You know, that's fans have been like that from the beginning of footballing era. But it's now when your fans, your fellow Gunners in quotes, because right now I'm not even sure if they are real Arsenal fans. They're just doing all this for content. Because a lot of things you see online right now is more or less for content rather than coming from a place.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? For clicks and
exactly.
For, you know, you've got professional pundits on that sofa in the overlap, and not one of them.
Not one of them spoke up.
Yeah, and it's just like you're just killing everything. It's just boring, and you've got the platform to do whatever, and you just spiel absolute nonsense all the time.
You're exactly right. It's tedious.
You know, you got this guy, and he's basically respect this, respect that, respect the other, and then you've got a Tottenham fan piping up.
Nah,
you're you're talking about respecting somebody, and he's backing you up. Why don't you turn around to him and go, I don't need your backing, mate, because that's what I'd be doing. Be like,
they're champions of Europe, though.
Be like, I'm talking about respect here, mate. Yeah. Get it back in your box. It ain't nothing to do with you.
Mourinho's just been sent off.
Who else?
Whoa.
Jose
Mourinho.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
There's a shock.
No.
Some things never change.
No. Oh dear me,
Josie.
Well, he can enjoy his last. I can see this being his last job. You know. There was a lengthy delay in that game though over racism allegations. So.
Oh, in the Real Madrid game, but I've just seen. I've just seen apparently. I've just seen a post on Twitter where the guy says Clattenburg basically said Clattenburg said that it's basically his fault he got abused, to speak, Vinny Jr.
Well, good job, Mark. Well done.
I
mean, I haven't seen the context of it, but there you go. But yeah, anyway, Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain both look like they're going through.
Yeah. Did you see that Juve scoreline? I mean, I watched that game, and I'm like, how did that happen? They were leading by 2 goals to 1, and all of a sudden, 5-3. with no away rules anymore. I mean,
5-2.
they're more or less 5-2 rather. I think they're more or less out of the tournament anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, somebody because somebody on my timeline was saying about Galatasaray and that and whatever. And I was like, they were talking about the Spurs run, and it was like Karabag, Galatasaray, and two other teams. I can't remember which ones they were now. And I was like,
did they get Bodo Glint last year?
Was it Bodo? I'm not sure.
Or did Manchester United get them? I can't remember. No, Manchester United got Athletic Bilbao, didn't they? So it must have been Bodo.
Well, it must have been Bodo, yeah. But it was like, yeah. And I was like, well, yeah. I'm seeing myself as a big club. I'd expect my club to beat any of those.
Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, Galatasaray. I'm sure that one of them was an Arsenal fan as well. And he's like Galatasaray, and he's saying, but I was like, yeah, I'd still expect to beat him. And then he pulls up, oh yeah, Galatasaray beat Juventus 5-2. Yeah, and
well, Juventus who just sacked their manager because they hadn't won in 10.
Right, and they're fifth in Serie A. You mean them?
Yeah, apparently they do.
Apparently you do mean them, but there we go. Obviously, quickly on the draw because we managed to, I spent the day basically going City get Mansfield.
Yeah, I did too.
We'll end up with somebody ridiculous and City get Mansfield. And we ended up getting Mansfield. So I put in the juju in the air, kind of reversed the psyche of the draw. But yeah,
it's a good draw from both clubs, isn't it? Really, Mansfield, League One, they're getting they get a lot of attention from that, a lot of revenue from that. Arsenal come to town, big game, something they can enjoy. From an Arsenal perspective, you're expecting to get through that whilst being able to heavily rotate. Whilst at the same time, Manchester City have to take on Newcastle, which they may well win at St James's.
It's away though, isn't it?
That's what you said. They may well win at St James's, but they it's not like they can go, do you know what? We've got this 17-year-old academy kid. We're going to start him up front. They're going to, if they want to try and win it, they're going to have to, come out for that game and, play a strong side.
The thing is,
so it's good news for the wider league, title push from our point of view, which is what I was going to say.
Yeah. You don't know what you get with Newcastle. You might turn up at the St. James's Park today and you find them playing like prime Real Madrid. And then some other days they are playing like the worst team in the league. So it's not an easy game for anybody anyway.
No, but it's good for Arsenal's wider sort of title hopes, isn't it? But, it's a game where Arsenal can, and it comes at the sort of in a busy period because the Champions League games, I think, will be the week after that.
I think it's the week after, yeah.
So you got sort of trying to get the team ready for that. You can, get a little bit of rest in there. Obviously, the League Cup finals, 2 weeks later, you can very much sort of look at it and go, actually, this is a real opportunity to rest players. Meanwhile, City can't do that. And I think that's a big boost for us. And you'd expect now to be in the quarterfinals, be a huge sort of Wrexham style shock. And I mean, Wrexham, when we went out to them, 30 or 40 years ago, but, that style shock, not Wrexham of today.
Yeah, but Wrexham, they've been moving crazy in this FA Cup. I mean, they may end up getting the finals.
They're not the paupers that everybody makes them out to be.
No. I mean, they've come up through the leagues. They're sort of that fairy tale story, but they come up through the leagues not like Luton did. They come up through the leagues with significant financial backing. I mean, let's not forget they had Ben Forster in goal for them for a couple of seasons. And okay, Ben Forster might be 306 these days, but he's still a former Premier League starter, former England international, and he was playing League Two football because he was being paid well by his own admission.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Champions League.
What, the scores tonight, or
no? The
dates for
the dates.
Do you want me to see if I can find them?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll have a quick butchers while you ask the next question or the next opinion you have. I don't know which.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going now, to be honest with you.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, put me on the spot. Obviously, the Wigan game, because we haven't really spoke about that, but yeah, it was kind of over in 16 minutes with 4 goals. Were you happy with that performance? Was there anything you'd have changed from there, or you just happy with that, or what?
I was
too
going to say,
much. I think the next game
T or
after
me?
this round. Yeah, I was checking for the fixtures as well.
Don't worry about the silence.
Yeah,
we're just,
I was going to say I can't find these fixtures anyway for some reason. But
I'll find them. I'll find
the Wigan game. I turned around to my son who was with, and I said, I think that'll be it, mate. I said, you might get one more goal. Hopefully, it'll be down this end, and you can see it, because it just straight away you could see the tempo drop. You could see Wigan drop, and Arsenal played well. They exploited the space. They made lots of changes. Shame we didn't get to see Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, but it's we saw Saka at the 10 instead. So at least we got something from that point of view. But players got minutes as they got confidence. We got through comfortably. No significant injuries, because it looks like Callaghan, Ben White are going to be fine. It's as good a day as you could hope for. I know some people are saying, well, we should have put them 8-9 past them. But actually, I think conserving the energy when you're trying to go for 4 competitions is far more important. And I was very happy with all things on the day.
Well, I wasn't, because I didn't watch the first half. I missed all the goals.
Were you happy with missing the first half, or you still got replay?
I didn't get to see any other goals going, so I had to watch highlights. So what the thing is, it's an FA Cup game against a lower league opposition. So first things first, win the game, which we did in the first 20 minutes. Second thing is no injuries. It's going to be long. From now to the end of the season might look longer, or might seem longer than from the beginning till this point, because of all that's at stake. So no injuries. We won the game. We got to see a couple of players also play, and the win also helps to, cushion the knock-on effects of the 1-1 against Brentford. Nobody liked the last game being drop points. So what the boy needs to focus on now is Wolves, get the 3 points there, and then focus on the next game. The fact that there was no injury concerns in this game, because we all know how these games always turn out to be when Arsenal play them. It's always one. We were always going to win. We were always going to beat Wigan, but the fear was that something else don't happen, like someone else don't get injured, or a player doesn't get suspended or anything. And basically, if anybody that told me Arsenal was going to win 4-0 before the game started, I'll take it easy.
Yeah,
easy. And the game was done by halftime. That was just it. But I didn't expect Arteta to bring in Gyökeres anymore, but then again, he's a strong lad. He rarely gets injured, so I guess it was a good.
I don't think that was planned, was it? Because obviously Callaghan was supposed to start, Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, and therefore Saka was supposed to come on. But I'm just conscious of time, because obviously we've got to get out of here in a second. But I found the dates: 10th and 11th and 17th and 18th.
Yeah, 10th, 11th.
Yeah. But there we go. As Dom said, we need to get out of here. But appreciate everybody who's been in the chat. Khalid, Hyper, SJ. Appreciate you all. Please make sure you're hitting the like and the subscribe button. It really helps boost the channel and the video, get it out to more people. Make sure you're sharing it out as well. Thanks for joining us again, Dom. How you good?
Yeah, all good. Yep. No, thanks for having me on as always. Sorry, I thought you were about to say something else, so I waited.
I went into a different sentence.
That's all right. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure. Beyond next week, hopefully as well.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for joining us again, T.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for everybody joining us as usual. This is Footy Corner TV, and we're out of here. Good night.